Hi, hola, namaste. Lost Canuck here, your everyday average backyard barbecue kind of guy. Well, again, got the cooking hat on. You know what that means. We're doing some cooking today. And today's cook, we're going to be making some pulled ham, which is double smoked ham, and then you pull it, and it's really tasty and yummy. You're probably saying, hey Lost Canuck, why are you making pulled ham? You made that, a few months ago. Well, I'm also doubling this up as my three-way probe test, okay? And this is a nice little cut of meat. It's a Kirkland Master Carve half ham, and they smoke nicely, quickly. There's no bone, and it's really easy to pull at the end. And even if you can't get a Kirkland ham at the Costco near you, Sam's makes a similar ham. I've seen them in different grocery stores. It's just a Carver's ham, bone out. And for my Hispanic viewers, a mis amigos que hablan español, los subtítulos debajo. And for my Hindi friends, Nietzsche subtitles. Alright, so let's roll that intro. Alright, well, these little half hams are actually made in the facility that I installed the smoke generators for the Alcar ovens that cook these things. So I know exactly how they're made. So they're a good quality ham, trust me. Alright, so let's get this thing open. And we're just going to put a little binder on it, a little rub. Let it dry brine at least 2 hours in the fridge. Get that rub soaked in a bit. I'm going to throw it on the smoker with 3 probes. I'm going to put all the probes in this end within 1 cubic centimeter where the tips are going to be. And I'm going to use parts of this segment. I'm going to have other segments for the whole probe video, but that's coming in a week or two, okay? And you don't have to, there's no trimming involved. They've trimmed this at the plant. But you do want to pat it dry. See all that juice coming out of here? Like there was a bit of conveyor damage there. Hey guys, up at Lage, got a little conveyor damage on your ham. Just letting you know. So you just want to pat off the surface moisture. So for today's binder, instead of boring old mustard, I'm going to use a little W sauce. I really like W sauce. And this is the little spicier one. It's not really too spicy though. It's just got a little bit of tang to it. So let's turn this over. And you can see it's already cooked. So there's, unless you really screw this up, there's not a whole lot of food safety problems going to be happening here. It's been brought up to 165 internal. So now that we have our binder on, and the only thing the binder is there to do, and because we smoke it so long, it's just there to hold the rub of your choice. On today's show, we're going to use some Suckle Busters Hog Waller rub. This is good on pork, ribs, anything like that. I like it. You don't have to use this. If you've got another different kind of pork rub that you have in your house, I suggest something a little sweet because we've got the savory sauce on here. A little sweet helps, but when you go to pull it, you can add some there too. Let's just put the rub on. And again, you don't have to worry about using too much because it's a big, it's about 3.5 pounds. Okay, so we're going to let this sit in the fridge and dry brine for a minimum of 2 hours. I like longer the better. If you could go overnight, that's even better, but I've got about 2 hours to dry brine this thing. So I'm going to go put it in the fridge, dry brine it, and then I'll see you down at the smoker. Lost Canuck out. Hey, Lost Canuck here. Well, we're back down at the pit. Have it preset at 225. It's cruising right along. I've got my RFX probe. I got the Ambient set up pretty close to where I'm going to put the ham. So that'll be my check. Now, when it says 227 here, that's at this end of the pit where Lone Star has their probe. My probe's down here. It's within 7 degrees. You're gonna see a temperature differential across here, according to a lot of the heat maps that Eric has posted online on Facebook. And so I'm gonna put the ham up on the top rack, slightly to the left, which is pretty close to what this says. Okay. So I've got my 3 probes. I got my RFX. I've got my FireBoard Pulse. And I have my combustion sitting over there on the table. The temperature probe that'll be in the meat transfers the information to the gateway, and this gateway is hooked up to my Wi-Fi. Okay. Same with this this display from Combustion. When I put the probe into the ham, it'll transmit from the ham to my Combustion gateway, and this is hooked up to the internet. You can see it's hooked up there, and then I have my FireBoard system, which is integrated into my pit, and the pulse works with it. So the pulse transmits its information from inside to the FireBoard controller here, and then to the cloud. Okay, so all 3 are hooked up to the Wi-Fi. That's not a big deal. What is a big deal is we'll find out how close the temperatures are to each other. So what I've done is I've taken a Sharpie and I've marked on each probe to match all the correct insertion depths. So they're all matched for the RFX. So I've got this one here. This, I measured it all. So I've got Sharpie marks on these probes. So I'll know, so that the tips of all the probes are at the exact same spot within the same cubic centimeter. They all should be reading the same temperature. So we'll find that out too. You know, yes, ambient temperatures are available on the Pulse and the Combustion. And since I'm reading the ambient with a wired probe here, we'll see how close they are too. But you can't do everything well. I'm more concerned about the internal temperature than the ambient, but we'll see how that works out too. Let's put the probes into the ham. I'm going to put it into the thickest part. I'm going to put them in this way, because this is kind of, the hump runs that way. I'm going to put it right approximately in the middle. I'll put one here. It's about right out there, and I'm going to put it down to my insertion point so that they're all roughly the same. Okay, there's the Combustion probe. I'm going to take the FireBoard Pulse probe. I'm going to put it right next to this so that it's almost touching. So it's basically at the same depth up to my Sharpie point. In fact, I'll push this in just a little more. Alright, so there's the ambience. I'll just take my little RFX probe, put it into the minimum insertion point, very close to these other two for the point. So I don't know if you can see it, but I have these two angled so they meet very close at the points. So they're all inserted. I'm going to open this thing up. I'm going to pick up my ham, put it up on the top rack. Just going to put this down so I can get close, and because I'm short. If I was tall, no problem. But you know, Lost Canuck, he's a little vertically challenged, if you know how that is. Maybe you don't. Okay, so we're getting good smoke. Like I say, I have it set at 225. Let's put this up here. Now, aerodynamically speaking, the fan blows from the right side to the left side. So we're going to go up and over and down. We should get good ambient. So you can see I've got my Ambient RFX gateway probe there, the wired one, next to my other two. Now we're set. We're off to the left a little bit. And just let me get this closed up. All right, so this little ham should take, with me wrapping it and everything, maybe 6 hours to do. I'm running stoked oak pellets in the hopper. They're just regular old pellets, nothing special, no wood chip mix, nothing. Just want to make sure that all the variables are correct. And this is going to be a really good test for all three probes, because you know, on my pulled ham, after it reaches 160 internal, I'm going to take it, put it into a foil pan, cover it with then crimp and cover it with aluminum foil so that it's in aluminum foil inside this very thick 3/16 inch cook chamber, and we'll see if we lose connection when we're transmitting to any of these Wi-Fi gateways here, okay? Good part of the test. So we're going to know temperature at approximately the same cubic centimeter area. If this thing drops a signal, I'm hooked up to the Wi-Fi, and we'll find out how everything goes. All right, Lost Canuck here, and I will see you when it's time to put this in the foil wrap. Hey, Lost Canuck here. Well, it's been about 6 hours. Yep, 6 hours, and the internal temperature of the ham is about 158, almost 160. So, what we're going to do is you're going to pull the ham, put it in the pan, put sauce on it, foil it, and put it back in and turn it up to 275 until it's at pulling temperature, which is about 203, like hand pulling temperature. And in the last 2 hours, I did bring the temperature up to 250 just to hurry the cook along. All right, there's a couple of things that you need to know about my probe test that I've done. So, the FireBoard Pulse probe has always, like in all my cooks, it's red high compared to all my other wireless probes. So just as a double check, because FireBoard has some really awesome wired probes, and you can see I've got a wired probe plugged into channel 2 here. So I've plugged the probe into channel 2, and I have it sitting right next to the other probes in the ham. And actually, between the wired probe, the RFX probe, and the combustion probe, those are all within 1 degree of each other. But the pulse probe is just, it's reading high. I'm not sure why. Yeah, but always 10 degrees high. Anyways, compared to the wired probe. So let's pull the ham out. We'll sauce it up, cover it, and turn it up. So this will be a real good test of how well these wireless probes work, because it's in a foil pan. Now I'm going to cover it with foil. So it's got to go through a layer of foil. All right, my videographer reminded me that I need to put the sauce on. Forgot that. So let's get the sauce on. And this is I'm using Carolina barbecue sauce. It's kind of a thin sauce. This is 0 sugar because, of course, I'm diabetic, but it's a good flavor. It's a cold, windy day here in Wisconsin, that's for sure. Hasn't broken 40 degrees all day. It's almost 2 layers of foil. Okay, so I'm going to leave this on the bottom shelf here, right in the middle, because now that it's foiled up, it really doesn't matter. I'm sure that's tight. All right, right dead center. Let's push this back in. Turn it up to 275. Yeah, make it 280. Turn it up to 280 and we'll finish her off strong. Alright, so it looks like I've already lost the combustion probe. It's not giving me a temp. Oh, there it is. It's back again. So it's having some difficulties. I'll check. I'll go upstairs and look at the RFX probe. All right. So all the probes are in. I've still got communication on my FireBoard on my Pulse. I think I have communication on the RFX, and this combustion spotty. All right, I will see you in probably about an hour when it's ready to pull off, and we'll hand pull it upstairs. See you at the cutting board. All right, well, we're back down at the pit. We've been on the pit for 8 hours, and the one probe I have left that's working is telling me it's reached 200 degrees internal temperature. And by the time I bring it upstairs, it'll carry over for a little ways, about 205 or so. I have it wrapped in foil. Now after I wrapped it in foil, that gave the wireless probes the toughest time, okay? And I found placement in different spots in the grill would negate, where the wireless probes. I've totally lost my FireBoard Pulse. The RFX is in and out. That's my most reliable one so far on this cook. And the combustion probe crapped right out almost instantly. I'll show you where I got it. I put it over near the hot zone. There she is. And it's in foil. There's 2 layers. Oh, see now that I have opened the lid, my combustion probe is woken back up. It's telling me it's 202. I know my RFX says it's at least 200. And I cranked the temperature of the pit up to 300 just to speed the cook along. So anyways, let's go back upstairs and we'll take the foil off and pull this. Hey, Lost Canuck here. Well, we're back upstairs in the BBQ Lab. I'm just your regular, average, everyday barbecue kind of guy. Mixed results with these wireless probes. I know the ham's done because I checked it by hand. It's at 203, perfect temperature for pulling it apart, shredding it a bit. It'll be super hot, so I got my gloves. But as I do that, I'm going to shred it. Put a little this Meat Mitch Kansas City style rub in there to taste it up a bit. And a little more sauce, and then it'll be perfect. So I'll go through the review of the wireless probes in a different video. But like I say, mixed bag, lots of interesting facts, and that video should be very, very good. It doesn't look bad. Well, the probes survived. All right, so let's pull these probes out. All right, so basically we're just gonna shred this up by hand, just like that. Well, this one had a lot of fat in the middle. It smells great. You know it's done when you can pull it apart easily like this. You just squish it in your fingers. Want to get some of that bark mixed in. And this is so simple to make. It just takes a long time to do. So if you put it on in the morning, it should be done by about supper time. So I'm going to mix in a little Meat Mitch's rub and a little more sauce. This is the KC style rub. Give her a little more flavor. And a little bit of this. Okay, I'm just going to mix it up a little more. Okay, now it's I don't want to burn my face off, but it's super hot. Let's take a little piece here, something that's not crazy hot. That's pretty hot. Save that one. Okay, I'm burning up my fingers here. Yeah, I'm going to take a little piece. Good flavor. Just fell out. And that one's cold. Tender because it was on for so long. Very tasty. The sauce is great. Again, easy meal to make for your family. It's just one of those little half hams, boneless. Throw it on, put some rub on her, throw her on in the morning. You're done by supper time. You can pull it up, Now we got enough here for a couple days of sandwiches and everything else. So anyway, so that concludes the test. Yeah, I like pulled ham. I do it all the time, and it's really easy to do. And I made it on the Lone Star Grillz 42-inch pellet grill. That thing's amazing. Holds temps very solid. And again, I did this to also check out my wireless probe system. Like I say, I've got some pros, I've got some cons. There's things I liked, there's things that I really didn't like. One thing's for sure, the wired probe will never fail you. So having said that, for all my first-time viewers, thanks for joining the channel. Thanks for watching. Much appreciated. For all my returning subscribers, thanks for coming back. Really helps the channel. And hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. That really helps the channel. And again, if you liked any of the stuff that I used on today's video, there's always links below. Again, that also helps me, buy things to create more content, and you don't pay anything extra. And don't forget to subscribe to my Instagram channel, and here's the QR code for it right here. And also, don't forget, I'm going to put up a couple playlists right here. Tune into those playlists. Lots more content available. Take care. Lost Canuck out.